What's going on, everyone? Charlie here. We have a pretty huge filing that just came out of DTC. This is DTC 2021-014, and the title of it is Provide Settlement Services for Transactions Entered Under the Proposed Securities Financing Transaction Clearing Service of the NSCC. Now, the Securities Financing Transaction Clearing Service is a rule filing that is yet to come out from the NSCC, so I find it interesting that this one describing this service that's yet to come out it came out first. So anyways, let's take a look at what's going on here. Background, this has been sitting around since December 18th, 2018. Damn, long time. The purpose of this, and by the way, anything in a red square is going to be a super note. And all that does is it just refers you to a footnote at the bottom of the page that gives you more insight into what they're talking about. So again, as far as terminology, we're not going to go over anything yet, because when I got to this point in the filing, I realized that we are still waiting on advance notice NSCC 2021-010 and NSCC 2021-803 to describe this service in more detail so we know what the hell they're talking about. So I've been checking. I mean, I imagine it's going to show up at some point tonight, considering this is the thing that describes it in more detail. So to prevent any confusion, I'm just going to skip and go to the stuff that I know or that I've learned from this filing that I can figure out. So let's go ahead and take a look. Basically, these SFT transactions, now SFT just means this service that they're talking about. God, what do they call it? Securities Financing Transaction Clearing Service. So when you look at how they describe it, right, the Securities Financing Transaction Service would provide central clearing for equity securities financing transactions, which are, broadly speaking, transactions where the parties exchange equity securities against cash and simultaneously agree to exchange the same securities in cash plus or minus a rate payment on a future date, each an SFT. SFTs between counterparties that are members of NSCC would be settled through their respective participant accounts at DTC. So, I mean, that basically just described a reverse repo/repo transaction. So are they trying to install some form of a repo facility within the DTC itself? That's pretty interesting. But I mean, to think about it, it kind of does make sense because all the big players, get access to the Fed when I'm sure a lot of the people that applied for it, would use something like this. So maybe there is demand for it. I don't know. We won't know for sure until we get these two filings to go into more detail. However, take a look at this. I went to the bottom to Exhibit 5 and looked at some of the changes in the the service manual, and I gathered a couple things. So take a look at deliveries. DTC's delivery program allows a participant to settle securities transactions by making book entry deliveries to another participant's account. The securities are immobilized in DTC's custody, eliminating the need for physical movement of certificates. DTC reduces the seller's position. So get this. DTC reduces the seller's position and increases the buyer's position without the need to move physical certificates. Deliveries can be made with or without the condition of money payment, depending on the applicable participant's delivery instructions. So that's interesting. This is the real kicker here. So the collateral loan service allows the participant, the pledger, to pledge securities as collateral, okay, for a loan or for other purposes, and also request the release of pledged securities. This service allows such pledges and pledge releases to be made free, meaning that the money component of the transaction is settled outside of the depository or valued, meaning that the money component of the transaction is settled through DTC as a debit or credit to the pledger and pledgee's DTC money settlement account. Now, the big thing about this is that when pledging securities to a pledgee, the pledger's position is moved from the pledger's general free account to the pledgee's account, which prevents the pledge position from being used to complete other transactions. Again, you cannot reuse the same pledged securities based on this description here, meaning you can't rehypothecate. So this may be a legit repo facility being created. Likewise, the release of a pledged position would move the pledged position back to the pledger's general free account, where it would then be available to complete other transactions. That makes sense. So you can't take it repledge it over and over again. As soon as you pledge it once, it's locked up, and that's that. So basically, that's all I know so far. Again, I'll show you right now. If you go to NSCC website, you can see here that nothing here for the advanced notices. And then also, unless it just showed up, nothing here either. So NSCC advanced notice, let's check there. Yeah, still nothing. So as soon as that comes up, I'll be able to dig more into this. This is one of the more interesting filings I've seen come out lately. So jack to the DTs as usual. Y'all have a good evening.